ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Normandie series here on the Lord Master channel. And I've got to say, these last few episodes, England and Greater Normandy have been taking a beating. Not by, external enemies, but rather on internal matters. I mean, England and Greater Normandy have suffered ravages of two major diseases, and then, as you can see, particularly in the Greater Normandy region, the rivers of Loire and Seine suffered major floods, although Loire was worse, as that one took 19 fatalities and then 9 on the other, but they're in a recovery phase. And then we had a massive revolt in the entire realm as they try to overthrow me and kick me out of England, and I would be fled back to the ancestral home of Normandy. But we managed to save our country, not only because of the bravery of our troops, but also further backed by our allies in France, which unfortunately we're no longer allied with France, as it is currently undergoing a massive revolt, a French Revolution, if you will, in which they have far more troops than the French has, so there's no way I'm going to be joining their war or re-ally with them. So for the first act of this episode, as I am Queen Alice, age 16, who have been recently crowned, I will break the betrothal because I don't see the usefulness of a French ally anymore, as it's going to be overthrown soon, as it's a tyranny war. So it would be best to break that betrothal now. It'll cost me some prestige, and yes, we'll break the betrothal and damage relations with the French, as they're no longer going to be in power soon. And since I have no heir to the dynasty, I have to marry somebody who was either at my age or above it. And also at the same time reduce my stress so I can have that fertility up. But as a reminder, I'm Craven. I was formerly lazy, but now arbitrary, in which she does her own thing and has little regard for others. So at least the good thing is you don't gain as much stress. Yeah, but you do lose a bit more stress as you're calm. So now I should look for a matrilineal, grand wedding promise, but I am looking for someone with good traits that are inheritable this time. Bavaria. Press claim, implicit claim, which are claims that are given to eligible children, all titles held by their parents. If a parent loses a title, charge of Crusade will be removed too. Heir to the county of Rothenburg. Keep looking. Not the heir, but ally with the outer Hebrides, but man's a genius, and plus around my age, so how about that? Forgiving, paranoid, but gregarious. Okay, that's contradictory. Paranoid and gregarious. And is a twin. While the other... Oh, there you are. I didn't see you there. You are currently ill, but you'll get better. I hope. Because you're just a man that I would like to marry. Heir to the Duchy of Nak, which is down there, I believe. Yes. I would like to spread the dynasty down there as well. So yes, it's been decided then. I'd like to matrilineally marry to Gavez de Omenak. Zealous, fickle, and lazy. Genius, more importantly. So meaning, whenever his old man dies, that currently holds the duchy, he gets to hold it, even though my husband would be away from court. My future husband, soon-to-be husband, will be away to court. And then, I'll have that. Well, wait, yeah, I mean, that's like whatever to me, but as long as there's land. Outer Hebrides and, the Outer Hebrides is like out there. It'll do. Because I would like to get married now. And then after the grand wedding, I'll go to the university. And while this message is sent, it's time to send some support to Greenland. That's another thing I gotta do. And at the same time, ensure peace. Do not start any wars and do not get involved in any wars. Support Greenland. Resilience and networks. Construct a church over there. Because I need some piety. For compliments and such. Let me tell my friend good luck as I send him a text message. Okay. Construct church. House of worship at the far north. So, this way, earn it 150 piety, gain additional piety annually from the Greenland States, increases the bonuses from sending close family or a courtier to settle in Greenland. Especially I have to get rid of some prisoners that took Greenland. Improves Greenland's networks by a large random amount, and resilience by a small random. If this support fails to arrive, Greenland's resilience and networks will decrease by a random amount between 0 and 10. Let's help it out. The Greenland settlements are remote and small, and sometimes depend on those back in Europe to assist them in their operations. Even if the colony is thriving, it doesn't hurt us to help, especially since Greenland's ivory is an important valuable commodity traded along the various Atlantic maritime trade routes. I've thus sent ships with supplies and skilled laborers with the intention of constructing a Catholic church in the Greenland settlements. Though they may live far away from us, Greenland's Catholics still have spiritual needs and a place to pray to God. Churches also serve as community centers for improving the quality of life in Greenland as well. May these ships' journeys safely to Greenland. If all goes well, it'll take up a few weeks to arrive. Now send an expedition to the west, because during the reign of King George, back then he used to send to Hildeland and Markland. But now let's just do this for first time. Is to Vinland. Vinland is legendary. Distant Vinland really worth it? Is legendary distant Vinland really worth it is the question. Higher chances of episodes that increase or decrease Vinland's viability. No opportunities to improve Greenland's resilience or networks. This option is not available if the colonization of Greenland is in the marginalization phase. Vinland was the Norse name for the region west of Greenland and south of Markland and Hildeland, which likely corresponds to modern-day Newfoundland and the Gulf of St. Lawrence, possibly as far south as Maine in the United States. It can be interacted once a ruler who is involved in colonization of Greenland takes a decision to explore the seas west of Greenland. Due to its remoteness and the lack of lucrative resources unlike Greenland, colonizing Vinland is extremely difficult if the colonization of Greenland has not been resolved with a good ending. Sending expeditions to Vinland is also costly. The main global value related to Vinland is viability, which influences the chances of success when attempting to establish a Vinland outpost if the colonization of Greenland has a good ending. Then rulers in the Nordic Seas region will have access to the decision to establish a permanent Vinland colony. Prepare for the journey. Question is who? There are lands that lie beyond Greenland, like Vinland. By sponsoring an expedition there, we could locate useful resources, locals to trade with, and more, if we succeed. As I begin to organize this expedition, I carefully consider the question of who to lead it. This person needs to be courageous, intelligent, and able. Their success could their leadership could make the difference between the expedition's success or failure. Some people in my court express interest in becoming an expeditioner. Should I grant this honor, or should I give some more thought? Let me see you. The Frenchman of Lollardo? No. I don't know about you. Plus you're one-eyed and weak. My knight. I need to think this over before I decide. So, for the next 3 months, you'll have access to an extra request from one of your courtiers to lead the expedition. Courtiers express interest in this one could still be given the offer. They'll automatically accept if you do not choose anyone, or if no one accepts your request. After the 3 months are up, a randomly generated character will be selected as leader. Because I feel that, you know, you may be slightly all-rounded, but average. But I don't want average. If you weren't so weak and you didn't lose an eye, I would definitely send you out there. So I'll think it over. Pirkoi, I consider you as my father figure. Why don't you go over there? He says no because of... Oh, you're craven. Okay, I understand. And you may not like me. Which reminds me. Let me compliment you at first. Because since you are such a father figure to me, as you're the one that raised me instead of my father, King George, I would like to befriend you. Because, you know, we're growing closer. I mean, you taught me well in such matters. Switch to advanced research for both. There's no reason to be doing that right now for rare artifacts. And since you're so damn concerned about stress, you need to bring in 2 ladies awaiting. I'll sort this out in a moment. And you need bodyguards. Especially bodyguards. Even if some may not like me, but I think in turn it will turn. Alright, who wants to be exiled to Greenland? I know none of you people like me at all, but I'm sure there are those who would like to be. Guess those who are not married can go. Now to Courtiers. Hey, you. How'd you like to? I already exiled somebody, right? Taberna as a guest. Look for someone bold, particularly those of High Marshal. Hey, wait a minute. You say you're looking for a leader for the expedition. Look for some of all skills. Hey, how about you? No. Is on the council. If I make him like me more, and... Oh yes, I gotta sort out the council. That just reminds me, thank you for reminding me that. Okay, if you take that man off the council, and if he likes you more, then we'll be willing to send him out. You won't be. I know you won't. He would. Simon, you are 13. I can't send you out. Are you serious? Do you want to lead the blind to... Damn. There's no good people here. Let me have a look at the guests again. Like, who's the most skilled of the whole guests? Craven and Content. No, he's not going to be willing to lead an expedition like that. That would go against him. If you weren't my personal physician, you'd be willing to go. But you're not all around it. Okay, first things first. Let me compliment you. Already did that with you. Fire him from a council. Okay, hold on. Tell you what. Oh, don't do that. Let me give you some useless artifact. Here, have a lock of hair. Okay. Fire him from the council along with all the others who wants to be in the council. Pin him for future reference. Come back with you in a moment. Right, who wants to be on the council? You bastard. Fine. One day we're gonna sort this all out. Actually, you would make an excellent marshal. Oh yes, I revoked some of your titles. Well, get over yourselves when that time comes. None of you are skilled for this. But I got a hook on you, where it might need it for something else. But until then, you there, you want to be in the expedition? Oh damn, I didn't know you took that personally. Okay, fine, let me send you a big gift. You're going to be the expedition leader. I'll pay you extra do you wish to be. If you say no, then, well, I guess we'll have to wait. Cannot accept your offer. Trust and abilities. Damn! Well, how about I send you out of here? You wouldn't be willing in a line of succession. Do you now? If only he was my friend, then would be willing. Speaking of friends, it's 95% chance. Never mind then. Guess we'll have to wait for a courtier to spawn. Grand wedding, we'll have it right now. It's gonna be a big old grand wedding, right here in London. And hopefully he gets well soon. Gonna be a grandiose ball here. Everything's gonna be spent big. Trouble those exotic fiends. Increased prestige gain. Will be illustrious by then, hopefully. Those gloryhound and courtly vassals that may not like me, they'll have more opinion towards me. Bonus distress loss, especially. Gloryhound and courtly vassals, yes. Opinion to all the attendees. Yes, yes. Especially yes. I have a magnificent host. Yeah. So you need to throw something grandiose to make all these people come over here. Want to have recreation to get rid of the stress, because I've been suffering quite a lot of it. The King of France is willing to come to the Grand Wedding despite the fact there's a revolution over there. Frisia will be there. Wales, Lotharingia, the kings, my friends. The Pope cannot be there because he does not expect to arrive at time, and he's also rather shy. So yes, this is the biggest thing I've ever spent But we're only doing that because, well, I need to relieve my stress and would like to have children now, as I have no heir of the dynasty for England and Greater Normandy. Do it! As I'll become an eager reveler. Picked up that trait. Courtly vassals will respect me just slightly more. They'll all come around. Especially those glory hounds. They do not like me as craven nor having crown authority, but they'll come around. And meanwhile, to please the vassals, we're going for strict diplomacy. The realm carefully selects its allies, forming only strategic partnerships that directly benefit its interests. Diplomacy is used as a tool to expand influence, but only with trusted realms, avoiding unnecessary risks. So those vassals will respect me a little more, and not so much from the independents. And those minority vassals will not like that. So we're taking a more isolationist position. Isn't there a law that is unlocked due to me being craven? Let me see. Sycophant officers. That's unlocked because I have arbitrary, because the other way around, that's just. For this, however, you lose the multi-lifestyle experience gain. Development growth into capitals halved, and the control growth is lessened. That's what we need in order to ensure stability of the realm. Because I'm arbitrary. Honest, deceitful, forgiving, vengeful, lustful, chaste, sadistic, eccentric, temperate, gluttonous, fickle, stubborn, brave. Oh, this is the other way that the craven trait unlocks me. That you go more towards defense. And the gloryhounds won't like it, but the others will. So basically you are reducing the size of the levies. Huh? So I'm recommended to take these two paths then. So we're going for an isolationist, defensive intensive path, while having a bunch of yes men in administration. Yeah, remember that every June. Slightly isolationist, but not all the way. That's the kind of ruler I'm going to be. Good news from Greenland. I received word that the arrival of my ships again carrying the labor supplies to Greenland. Work has begun on the construction of a Catholic church in the Greenland settlements. Once complete, they will inspire and comfort Greenland's Catholics and provide them a place to pray to God and gather as a community. Excellent. Bonuses from sending a close family or courtier to settle in Greenland are increased if there's anybody who's willing to go. Not much increase here, but it's a start. Four months. Yes, I do have the perceived weakness, which lowers the general opinion. That's what caused that. So, to do that is again how weak, immature, or unreliable you perceive to be. Consider rumors about your attitudes, achievements, and temper. Skills, age, and personality are primary factors. Female rulers are perceived as weak by male dom faiths, Catholicism. So, I don't know where this perceived senility comes from. Maybe they think stress level, that's the reason. So it's the military slightly hindered, but Hopefully we'll have it all sorted out in the future. Pay the ransom. Yeah, of course. Again, I cannot find good candidates to send to Greenland, so we'll have to get one. Today's the day that I've organized a set off for Vinland. I've come to the harbor of Cuntingham. Where is Cuntingham? Up there. To bid him farewell. I cannot find a willing leader to the expedition from my courtiers, so I had to resort to recruiting Martin, a veteran traveler in my realm. I don't know him well, and I can only hope that I did not make a mistake. Oh, I sure did. I sure did. Martin assures you that the crew's a good spirits and they're ready for this great adventure. I can only hope that nothing goes wrong on the trip, that he and his crew returns a great success, whether that is bountiful treasure, trade opportunities with locals, new discoveries, or something else. Safe journeys. Oh, this is going to be a bad one, if he gets any events that requires his intervention. And some of that falls upon luck. Let me get my glasses. I mean, I can read, it's for my eyes. The gaming glasses. He's here. Guest list is huge. I mean, I could make an alliance with somebody, but I have a feeling that me being arbitrary, some of the traits, including my diplomacy skill, is just falls upon average. So I don't know about Egalitarian daughters, especially that I said I plan on taking England and Great North to a more isolationist path. A messenger bird brings a message from Martin, with an update about his expedition to Vinland. Martin reports that while sailing the coastline, they encountered an area littered with a significant amount of high-quality driftwood. Greenland is no stranger to driftwood, of course, as remains of trees from strange foreign lands often get carried by the waves to its beaches. Such driftwood can be used everything from firewood to shipbuilding. Anyways, Martin said it's uncommon to find so much driftwood of this quality. Thus, he and his crew will spend some time gathering as much as they can to bring with them on their ships. Good find. Greenland can always use some more driftwood. So to do this episode's outcome, you might receive one or more following extra gold, or prestige, or even an increase to Vinland's viability. Remember, this doesn't affect resilience and networks for Greenland. It always feels amazing when you have been planning for something for so long and spent so much money on it, and finally it's there. How you doing? Still ill? Well, once you get married, the physician will treat you. Everything is ready. The decorations are in place, the guests are mingling, and the servants scurry around with loaded dishes. I'm pacing around in excitement and nervousness when my future spouse, Gervais, how do you say his name? Like Ricky Gervais? If he hears, ready in his finest attire. We're ready to begin. Can't wait. Just stick with recreation. Stress loss is a priority, so you can get your fertility up and you're ready for everything. Weddings are just politics, I still myself as I wait for my future husband to join me. Wow, look at you, you're all better. Feeling fine. Just politics, I repeat to myself. How bad could it be? But nothing prepared for the moment as I see Gervais, man, for the first time. No portrait in scripture could do justice to the gentle look on his face. No poet has ever sung of beauty such as his. Time hangs still when our eyes meet, and everyone seems to disappear. Then he smiles at me, and I know everything will be alright. Could it be you I've been waiting for? become his soulmate. Again, I love him for his intellect, not for his lazy and fickleness. Whatever opinion he had towards me, well, that's gone now. Your face, and I fell in love at first sight when exchanging vows. 1001 Nights achievement. I picked up. Duke Wiltred, the man who rebelled against me, and in poor health because he starved and ill. He's become a talented politician. Hope he passed away, you rebel scum. You'll always be remembered as such. What? Seduce me? Who would want to seduce the young Queen Alice? I already found the love of my life. Meanwhile, a messenger bird brings me a message from Martin with an update about his expedition to Vinland. In the course of the expedition, Martin says that they were slightly blown off course and ended up what seemed to be an unknown coastline at first. However, everyone soon started to recognize the geographical features as they corresponded with the description of location mentioned in a legend about the voyages of an earlier explorer. Because the legend was somewhat vague about what this area was like, Martin thought that this was an excellent opportunity to discern whether the accuracy of geographical details in the legend to map out the area to help future sailors and explorers travel the region. On the other hand, he might not discover anything new worth noting down, as the legend was clearly sufficient to help us navigate this area. Well, given his low learning, so neutral or does not discover new information, that could be potentially bad. 42% chance discovers new useful information expanding on what's previously known about the legend, which would be a success. I think he didn't waste time but just sailed onwards. Because he's lazy, knowing him. That's what he would do. So this will end in a neutral. So there you go. When the ceremony finally reaches its climax, and both myself and my spouse are asked for our formal consent, I'm barely paying any attention. Body's on with the excitement for the end-minute celebration. Piles of delicious food, limitless drinks, and the many happy faces to share them all with. I can't imagine anything better. But for the time being, let's get the formalities over. Do I want to spend the rest of my life with Gervais? I'm going to call him Gervais, because the way it's spelled, you know, he's of that culture. So I will marry him. I say I do, so yeah. Big renown gain for us Vasconia, and de Normandy. So they have 2 spots. As the ceremony concludes and we all moved to the banquet venue, I secretly smiled at myself, picturing the joys that come from a married life with Gervais. Not everyone can be so lucky to marry such a likable person. I wish everyone to share my happiness, and let's all tuck in. Enjoy. Again, find opportunities to reduce stress in any way you can. Trade. So you're gonna pay me some gold. Take whatever you need. You took horses and cattle for yourself. I didn't pay much attention to the activity log. Alliance is made. My friends. I'll befriend you next, since you're a loyalist. Ah! What was that? To combat stress, I engage in eccentric gardening session with the court's premises. The sight of root tending to plants amidst the courtiers raised eyebrows with the unusual activity for particular form of relaxation. Every little bit helps. And we need that money for the university to go. Every feast, there's always one. Every single feast. Long-winded, ill-born pissant cornering people who just not be silent. This time it's Edgar. She's determined to pitch schemes at me and is totally unwilling to commit to a single idea. Instead, it's a never-ending parade of half-baked verbal vomit, slowly drowning my will to live. I'm gonna scream. You are calm, so please, gently exit the conversation. I educate myself. And that I did. I gained a free diplomacy. You already have that. If you wanted to get up to go faster. You might have genius children one day. So, I think groom to rule would be a good idea in theory. But at the same time, if you want to go down this path, whenever our income increases, it would be necessary to create some more duchy titles within England. So I'm going to stick with Heart of the Family. If I ever pick up another diplomacy perk, groom to rule is a must-have. Press my court artifacts, thank you. I'm no longer stressed, but I might be stressed one day. My husband's been wounded. What did you do to yourself? What happened? How did you hurt yourself? Somehow he's been wounded in his flesh, contracted foulness and swelling. The right kind of treatment is administered, and Jesus is merciful, he should make it. The physician wants to know how my husband should be treated. I mean, this is my soulmate. I just married this man. Not only wounded, but also infected. Oh, come on. Be cautious, do him no one's necessary. It's permanent until the wounded goes away. Hope he doesn't die on me, because I'd be devastated. The feast started winding down. Everyone's sated and tired, but the day's still not over for Gervais and me. The procession of guests leads us to our bedchamber. For legitimacy, the wedding depends on it being consummated. It's time. Don't die on me, husband. You are the one. The fire in the grate started to wither, and I stare at its flames silence. The light, its warmth. King Gervais searching for someone in his wooden chest. Take my eyes off to the flames and look at him. Alice, he says, offers on a package of him. I saved this since our betrothal, and I offer it to you as a token of my love. This is just disease resistance. Marriage set to produce many offspring. And my marriage is said to be incredibly fertile. Actually, I have something for you too. A papal envoys reached my court, bringing news from the Vatican. The Pope abandons this call to arms all righteous Christian rulers. As a Catholic King, I am expected to prepare my men to support the most holy cause sponsored by the Universal Church itself. To all those who will take the fight against the vile heathens, desecrate the holy grounds of Lithuania, the Holy See, promises full absolution from all sins and a guaranteed place in heaven. Who are we up against that's in Lithuania? What the heck? Are those pagans still up there? That they are. Well, there aren't that many, so I'll say my wars will be ready to fight. I'll be there. Well, not personally, but you get the idea. A messenger bird brings a message from Martin with an update about his expedition with Vinland. According to Martin, they got caught in a rather terrible storm. So terrible that so many of the crew thought they would die then and there. Perhaps St. Nicholas heeded their prayers, for the storm eventually cleared. In the aftermath, Martin noticed that he lost some of his crew, even a couple of ships. This undoubtedly hindered their ability to conduct the expedition, but Martin vows they will continue the journey no matter what. What a terrifying ordeal. Okay, so you may lose gold or decreased viability. So you got one good, one neutral, one bad. So it's a 50-50, whether if the expedition is a success or a failure. As the banquet reaches climax, I grow more and more anxious about the wedding ceremony. It's clear Gervais shares none of my reservations. He turns to me, the procession sets us off to our chambers, laughing. You look like a ghost, wife. Relax. Oh, the hollering and drumming. Let's have a room to ourselves. Quick, bar the door. Gate barred betting for 5 years. Lowered my diplomacy a bit. Stress loss. I lay with him, loses stress come craven. His opinion, going outdoors, it does not matter, because he's my soulmate. When finally the last guest leaves, look around the deserted venue. Food leftovers, spilled spice wine on the floor, the echoes of people's laughter still linger in the air. I feel satisfied. What an amazing day. I did a very fine job organizing it. Thank you all for coming. Look at that gain. Got some gold, some legitimacy, of course, more legitimacy. Courtly vassals respect me a lot more, hopefully. All that. Lock of hair he gave me. How much do we have to spend for the university? When does the Crusade begin? 14 months. Put that back front and center. It's gonna have to be you. Again, we'll be there. So, Lithuania. That is a sizable area that we'll be dealing with. Kingdom of Lithuania is Polish. Duchies. Well, what's the point of this? There are not that many pagans there. Because you are going after one target. That would be the world's smallest crusade. Your holiness. Come on. Oh, I didn't see the rest of it. I was looking at this Kingdom of Lithuania. I mean, the title already exists. This is to expand around more. The Polish king. So I'm sending her off to go rule some duchy or county over in a totally foreign land. Yeah, why not? Let's hold court. This is to gain legitimacy and court grandeur and all that shit. Countess has boldly steps forward and, without providing any context, proceeds in hushed tones. I have the ear of fellow discontents, and I'm sure I could persuade him to back down in exchange for some contractual amendments. Though, in order to be a fulcrum for traitors desires a greater autonomy in the England, this sort of charge would never publicly admit to. Lowered my court grandeur, every feudal member of the Liberty faction. Reduce. that would be the arbitrary thing for me to do, but let me look. Don't give her Bruges. I love that. Love Bruges. I'll say, see sense. Knavery will do you no good. 45% chance success, 54% chance failure. Is convinced. Unable to join any faction for 5 years. Every Liberty faction is disbanded. Before me stands Earl Geoffrey of Venice, his head hung low. My lady, it has been hard by the recent raiding and looting. The people are starving, the fields are not recovering. Our livestock is not enough to survive anymore. We beg you to intervene and save your devoted subjects with your great magnanimity. He bows if he falls silent. I know that's the right person for the job. You get to leave the court because, well, actually no, because we need you. There's no better steward than you here. So I'll grant you tax relief to get it back up. Won't pay as much taxes towards me, but a little bit helps. My queen, I come from the religious community of Kingston in the Earldom of Surrey. There. Wise and pious men have been collectively oppressed of your traditional knowledge of Anglo-Saxon culture for centuries. The sound of goodwill, I offer you the precious anthology of Anglo-Saxon texts translated to your own language. I hope you will accept a new perspective of our people. Please stay and teach me more. But now, let's go to the university visit. Large religious center on the Abbey. The place to be. It's a combination of a large religious center and university. There's no other place like it in the world. Not even Byzantium. Or other places like House of Wisdom. Mecca, Medina, Nablus. Well, Fez is the only other thing that's actually comparable. But that's was a territory. So, Cluny is the premier center of learning in Europe. It's Cluny Abbey. A gift of land and rights in exchange for eternal salvation. That is the covenant which has been formed between the monastic community of Cluny and the local lord. Over time, it has grown to a lively and influential community, free of secular interference, enforcing Benedictine discipline far away. Under its many red roofs, monks pray, labor, illuminate manuscript, a model for others to emulate throughout the continent. As I said, the place to be. We'll still have someone to spare. And after I leave here, go visit these few points of interests. Though there might be some danger in the travel, but I'm not afraid. Well, you should be afraid. You're Craven. So I think I'm in need of some protection. That gets rid of all but a few. Alright, let's go. Just needed a mercenary cat on our side. Does getting involved in a crusade not count to assuring peace, by the way? While passing through the plains of Bray, my fellow traveler steps perilously close to a concealed pit trap, but is just grabbed just in time by my bodyguard, Adam. You need to be more careful, Adam. Well, it's just concerned about his voice. What? Officer Sheep description. Thanks, everyone. Given that I'm craven, she would say this. Let's move out with most care for a while. Slow down and travel safely. You are in French Revolution territory. I'm a noble student here. The ships we sent on our expedition to Vinland have returned. I went to meet Martin and asked him about the various adventures he had during the expedition. Not surprised there was much to tell. Fortunately, it appears that the expedition was ultimately a success. During the expedition, Martin managed to acquire a lot of useful resources, contacts, and information while exploring this frontier region. There's no doubt that the boons of this expedition will greatly help the Greenland colony. Perhaps we should send another expedition in the future. It would be another great opportunity to earn more glory for ourselves. Unfortunately, the viability just went down because of that bad episode we had. But we did gain prestige. Well done. I'm never going to send you on the expedition again. Thank goodness you didn't have much to intervene. Again, it's all about luck. I'm finally here. Finally at the gates at Cluny, the renowned university seat. All knowledge is collected inside these hall walls. Scholars are reputed from all over the world assemble these same hallways to preserve and increase the true wealth of wisdom. And I'll soon join them. Of course, major centers of culture are also active markets to offer all the distractions a student could ever desire. It's time to get started. Yes, you were fired from the council once, but now you're back. 1 second. Just remembered something regarding other vessels. My mistake. That means you get to hold through her. And hopefully you better make her Catholic again. Otherwise there's going to be trouble. I'm suddenly distracted from my midnight studies by a loud crash, near deafening slam, and the expensive sounding shatter. What in the world is going on? The source of the disturbance appears to be two cousins. God knows how they got in here. Ravenously gulping down a barrel of the university's, Malvasia. This'll teach or whatever. Shuts. Yeah, you think the barrel's just because they get really near the holes? These poor unfortunate souls will see that you'll learn how to read. So these two will be joining a court, even though they're not skilled in my way, but get their learning up, then we may get to talking, especially you, Jacques. That'll help. One second. Hang on. Neighboring ruler lost the war. You have lost the tyranny war, but yet you're still in the throne. Attention students, my teacher Lothar shouts Count Guy and told our benefactor, Count Guy, has deigned us a visit. He's a ruler of these lands. Be on your best behavior. Ah, you're debating the best daggersmiths in the realm. I'm quite fond of the subject myself. I hope your studies are going well, the Count says while smiling serenely. The Count has the power to assign special privileges to students such as myself. Perhaps you take this opportunity to speak up. I'd like to make a generous donation. Students, we have a stage speaker join us today. Another one? My teacher Lothar says, let us welcome Suffragan Bishop Civil of Macon. Macon? The utmost authority on Catholic doctrine here in England. Greetings. I'll start sounding all strange back. Today we'll be exploring the nature of unusual diseases, how it connects to the nature of God. The other students straighten their backs and procure their clothes. This is going to take a while. $50-50. I'll say, what? That's a heretical thought. I was unceremoniously ushered out of the auditorium. Doesn't look like I'm going to be having a high level of higher tier wherever I go. Duke Orson of Gascon is sure to follow. Look his eyes, words on his lips. I know what he's after. You old coot. I'll say never. The world will know of his perverted nature. How can a heart endure this kind of bring? It cannot be possible. Yet here I am, my heart beating while tears gone quiet. Oh, Gervais, my sweetness and life will never be the same without you. At least the memories remain. He died from his wounds. Why did you not treat him? Ah. He was the one, and now I'll never see someone like him again. Unless you want to marry his twin to make up for it. Which is weird. The halls of the university can often echoes of the debates of students and teachers, some of which escalates to notorious rivalries like between Lothar and Egalitarian. When I found that they are, as usual, screaming at each other, trying to prove whose field of study is better equipped to discuss Jewish-Christian debate. Something less usual that they noticed me approaching and asked me to take a position. I believe there are great merits in both positions, are they not? They're unimpressed, and I gain more stress. Damn, this is a bad study. Okay, this may sound weird, but... Is the other guy still around? Yeah, the other twin. No grand wedding. Money's already spent. All that for nothing! Guess you're the one for me, then. This is weird. I'm marrying a twin who is just about as much as a genius, but... When I returned, I'm going to... You know... I mean, it doesn't look like I was able to conceive with him. So hopefully the other twin will be better. Teacher clearly takes place in most normal form, and students are encouraged to exercise theoretical prowess, and show their progress of their learning debates in front of their peers and teachers. Today, Lothar is asking them to take opposing sides on the topic of Botheus' Wheel of Fortune to discuss it out. Let me begin from the scriptures, as everyone knows. 1. The debate. Much to my delight, one of Courtiers found me here, including as my entourage, and I make my way toward Middlesex. Carries good news, for he wished to formalize a friendship. Never expected us to grow close, but he has proven himself to be a reliable, forthright man, with only my best interests at heart. We're closer than ever. Oh yeah, I remember this other guy. or whoever you are. As I said, I look at him as a father figure because my father did not raise me as a guardian. George. That's. Oh, never mind. That's just some guy. He disappeared without a trace. Well, I had some bad luck on the university visit here. Could have been more. Could have been so much more. People from all around the known world in the university's religious studies gain and share knowledge. This is made possible only by the shared knowledge of a common language. Usually some ancient language of the third, loaded with traditional authority. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the language of the culture spoken here, which is making my studies much harder than they need to be. It's not an easy endeavor, but is this what higher education is all about? Time to hit the books. Learn the Latin language. Well, what do you know? I know Latin now. Heck of a language to learn. Okay, like tomato. Now listen, I'm sorry that your twin has passed, but yes, I know we're both traveling. And I know you're paranoid, but you can be gregarious. When I return, I'll make him my soulmate. This has been such an amazing experience. When I left, I couldn't even imagine a number of wise men to study here. The depth of their thinking, just being part of the same environment has made me a much better person. If I knew to gain knowledge, I could make my way home very satisfied. Obviously, the tier was too damn low to pick up a perk point. Well, two, because one took its time to spin that wheel around. Wasn't able to get my education trait upgraded. But I learned Latin, so that'd be for something. Fine law and ordinance. Should equip a steward book. That's what you should be doing. My god, get this repaired. We need more gold, but don't worry, we'll have it soon. Stephanie's book is valuable knowledge. Gotta go down this path here. Tactful and defensive measures. Especially since you said you're going to do some law changes that would appeal to your hereditary positions. So this crown prioritized loyalty and kinship, appointed trusted relatives and close allies to important positions. While the administration remains loyal, some positions may be filled by less competent individuals, leading into inefficiency but stronger family bonds. Next time, go for that. No, it's too expensive. You know, I should have had that armor destroyed. Hang on. No, you can't do that. It's of a higher tier. Money from Greenland came in. Have that book repaired. Throwing all my money to it. Crusade begins in 5 months. In the past few months, the town around suffered from quite a scare. The townspeople heard strange, inhuman sounds at night, and feared Satan was up to something. Prayers were offered, nightly patrols were increased, and so on. However, by chance, eventually discovered that the source of all the circus were several crafty youths who, with nothing better to do, pranked the town at everyone else's expense. The boys are under arrest and their fate's now in my hands. No harm done. Let them go. Afternoon is quickly advancing nightfall as we enter the local farm estates in Orleans. The estate owner greets us warmly, promises to host a lavish feast for us. Once the feast starts, we dine on a veritable menagerie of roast animals, stews, soups, and bread and the like. In the morning, there approaches me as I join my breakfast. My queen, hosting such extravagant shindig is just it can be expensive. You should pay me for the prestige that I brought to your farm. That's something an arbitrary ruler would say, especially arrogant rulers. Shot tag. Just we're about to set out, it starts snowing. I can't help but curse poor luck, but I'd seen the clouds coming for a while. It doesn't seem to let up anytime soon. I want to make our journey on time with the setup. Right through the snowstorm is risky at best. An opportunity to rest, I say. I find among my usual letters of state something most unusual. Delicately wrapped in with a blood-red ribbon is led with the image of a heart of an adorning waxy seal. It's from my friend Earl Cyril with his profound feelings for me. My love, I breathe only for you. I cannot bear to part much longer. I have loved you since I was just a boy. Please return my love. I'll promise to make you happy forever. Listen, I don't feel the same way. We're just friends, okay? We come across the remnants of a trading caravan in Ile-de-France. Arrow-ridden corpses of merchants, guards, and horses, overturned carriages, and ruined merchandise all point to this some kind of attack by bandits. Anyways, such dangers on a road aren't unheard of. After we bury the dead, my charming companions and I debate on what should be done with the merchandise, which the bandits did not carry off them. Salvaging these items could be quite lucrative, though it'll take some time. Not greedy, but we need the money for the upcoming Crusade, so I'll take the lion's share as it's my right. Sorry. That's how it is. As I'm looking through the market stalls in Monte, I feel my purse string cut. Despite my immediate reaction, the thief disappears in the crowd. Only through pure coincidence, one of my guards sees the man and heads to the back. Stop, or I'll have your head! One of my guards shouts at him, and the thief turns around, giving us an angry, shifty stare. Shoes. Okay. Filthy thing, you think you could steal from me? A crowd of desperate and dispossessed throngs at the threshold of calamity. Emotions rippled through the ragged rabble. The air ran to sobs, wails, and screams. At the sight of my entourage, I stumbled forward almost as one. Half-dead, hollow-eyed hands outstretched, falling to their knee in supplication. To think we come to hell, how much I could do for so many. Again, you're in the former flood zone that's in recovery. Come up with a lie to those looking for answers. I lied to the crowd. Sea is calm and forgiving today. Still as a boulder and a powerful wind our back to boot. It seems to be an easy day for the rowers below, and I spotted a mangled corpse of a ship buried nose first in some jagged rocks just ahead. There does appear to be any survivors, and the rocks would be no trivial thing to navigate. The outfield compelled to go and investigate this mysterious wreck. But my craven ass says there's nothing but death that way. Dead beneficiary. Disappeared without a trace. What the heck? The road to Canterbury is busy with pilgrims making their way to the shrine of St. Thomas Becket. The party fallen in with a colorful group. A knight, a pardoner, a prioress, a miller, with baldy jokes and several others. This journey has been pleasant, filled with stories and songs. But as the forest closes, Cyril notices something wrong. figures moving through trees, too purposeful to be travelers. Partner goes pale. My relics! Someone must have talked about my relics. Before anyone could react, masked men burst from the undergrowth surrounding the pilgrim band. Their leader, a heavy-set man with a crossbow, grins unpleasant. Pilgrims carry gold, he announces. My partners carry more. Nobody moves, nobody dies. I'm looking. I'll say, that crossbow's a fine weapon. I have gold. Let's trade. Since I'm one for stewardship. 70% chance of success, 30% chance of failure. Business transaction. My unexpected offer confuses the situation entirely. Negotiations ensued and somehow I end up trading gold for a crossbow while the pilgrims escaped in the confusion. An unconventional solution, but effective. Tiny bit of stewardship gain will eventually give me perks in the long run. Thank God I can go inside. Crusade's about to be launched, but don't send any troops. Don't raise troops until the fact. Because we do not have the financial means. And wondering if this is going to cost me to ensure peace due to joining a crusade. To my surprise, Duke Orskin adjusts for me to young knights in London. While the means necessary, I had a far better time sitting inside. Success of my plans is the upcoming tax season with Orson. What use is on a throw about the means defeated, he pointed. Let's thank Orson for his visit. I told him no. Counselor left court. You may not look at me eye to eye. Oh, he's inherited the duchy. Well, congratulations, darling. How would you like to? Of course, let me know when you have arrived. I'd like to hear what goes on over there. Look at the defenders. You're not due to inherit anything, right? Oh then. Look at the defenders. You know what, let's go right now. Want you to send men-at-arms only. Because that won't take much. Go. Because I don't want to raise levies. You will arrive in 7 months. Good luck. Time has come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile heathens of Lithuania. Inflamed by the righteous fear and unyielding resolve, a great army of Crusaders assembled by Pope Bonus sets forth to deliver divine justice upon the wicked and earn their place in heaven. This is for the Northern Crusades, and if we get the big contribution, we get big money. It restarted. Damn it. We're going to have a small number of defenders. But if we take the capital, we get the contribution and we win. This damn thing's about to break, so get rid of it. And you know, as I'm craving, I can't go hunting. An arbitrary satisfaction with realm laws. Finally, the stubborn bureaucrats have been removed from the lower ranks. Those commoners who thought they could stand in my way, prying into the affairs that they could never understand, have been dealt with. The flow of power is now unhindered, and we can operate as we should without hideous oversight. The road moves smoothly when the corruption is allowed to breathe a little, without these meddling fools inspecting every detail. We can finally get things done. I'm pleased to see the system work as I designed it, efficient, quick, and most importantly, under my control. So, character approves of this realm bureaucracy. Hereditary positions is necessary. I mean, we can go further. Control decline versus control loss is a big difference. So soon we'll pass this. Yeah, I mean, development growth will be haveled here in Middlesex, and that's alright. I just need more of that. Those people here. Invalid. Having become a ruler of responsibilities when it's no longer fit. Okay, we're running out of candidates here. Ralph, you good for nothing? You're the man. Oh, god damn it, they're about to beat me to it. They're already about to arrive. No longer have the light screen mother. Oh, why I told you no. Let the world know that I will not fall for you. Not now, not ever. Just romance him. Time has kind of led my feelings towards Duke and have to be known. I want to remember this day for the rest of my life. For a woman like her. Especially for one of intrigue, she would secretly plant a letter in his chambers. My declaration of love is for the Duke's eyes alone. No one else matters. I pour my heart out, page after page. My feelings, growing as I finally put them into words. The ink has barely dried as I set up for his chambers. I gently placed a scroll on his bolster. Will he lay here tonight, dreaming of me? The waiting is unbearable. The thought of rejection makes me sick to my stomach. When his upon her eyes, I tear the seal she gains. While I cannot encourage you, my liege, you call me liege. You're my husband. You're not, you're serving the most graver conference is faithfully. This is going to take a while because there's a lot of obstacles. Yeah, I do not know your language. He dislikes craven and arbitrary and dislikes calm. Oh, he does not like my personality in any way, shape, or form. I should have considered seducing him rather than just, straight up romance. I'm setting myself up to fail for this. Okay, actually we got a job beforehand, so yes, that matters. God damn it! Ralph! It's either her or no longer valid sin. You're blind. You've been blinded. Well, it's gonna have to be this old person. who's married to someone of a different dynasty. A dynasty that I have an issue with. We're the first ones to step foot for this here siege. Damn pirates. King's coordination. I thought you lost the revolution war over there. I'll tell you what, I would go there. If you get well soon, that is. So, what happened? Tell me, what happened? You lost the Roman wrong. Well, ended in your defeat, and yet you're still in the throne. How? How did you get away with this? So you were properly crowned some 3 years ago, and now you're about to be crowned again. So you're a two-time. I mean, after all, you were my ally. So I broke a betrothal, and I do apologize. So make up to you, I'll be there. Though there's going to be some degree of danger here. Not expected to arrive at coordination in time. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay then, fine. We'll have to bring mercenaries again. I'll try to be there. Maybe I could try to improve relations with the French king again. As, you know, you bailed me out of this. I'd like to have you again on our side. I step out of my tent and rub my siege camp sprawls up before me. A maze of rough-tiered tents and canvas lean-tos, makeshift fences, coils of rope and canvas mattresses and tents, all strewn over the ground, about even sprawling flat. The flags flutter above the throng, and smells of smoke and sweat and horse dung. My lord retainer approaches as far as these sieges, and got in my butt, I got to the camp. A barrier of sepils stands before me. A canyon of shattered walls, empty supply carts like gutted and burning everywhere. Thick smoke curls upwards from the smoldering ruins. Peasants run this way and that, weeping and screaming in terror. Crying children clinging on the backs of fleeing men. Expired and imprison everybody you see. We have to up the war score more. Okay, what do we got here? Fort level 4, Fort level 2, Fort level 2. Again, this is going to be an easy war. So, if I were you, just head to there. Be there in 4 months' time. Particular situations developed in the county of Sepils. A woman is seeking to escape an enraged marriage has claimed sanctuary with your forces. Family demanding a return holds considerable influence. My knight tells the birthrights. My lady, this matter touches on local marriage cosmopolitics. Your judgment is needed. Come here, thanks. lustful. It's fun of a lot. I'll say protector. Show that we are not barbarians. Even though in my eyes, they're the barbarians. They're the ones with the pagan faith. So I consider them as such. Chariot through. I passed by a particular looking tent displayed over its more particular looking occupant inside. Come in, O mighty queen. I can tell you of many miles to go. I can offer you a reading for your future travels for a modest price. Strange man has piqued the interest of my entourage, but am I willing to pay for a reading? Tell me my future, wise one. That travel bodes well. Good omen, they say. We soon acquired Taberna in brave France, with a loud band of ragged-looking sellswords come barging in. Our brutish leader pushed one of the guards aside, audaciously summoned a noble woman, eh? My lady, interested in the services of the best band of mercenaries in brave France, eh? More lawmen you'll never find, at least you'll pay us properly. How much? No, thank you. I'm just here to enjoy a small break. We can't afford it until the Crusade is won. Sigismund has charged our food supplies. She's revealed our provisions are now all but useless and are poorly stored. Patches of mold cover the bread and produce. We quickly used up the remaining dried food. The party grows hungry as dusk begins to fall. The locals around here must have something. So you're holding a coordination up there. We haven't had any delays. That's good. Simon, who is rabbinic Jewish, meaning our tutor did that. Court-born, master administrator. You might make a damn good steward. And you have 4 traits. Okay. You have to lose 1 eventually. I should be teaching you children more often. Heck, if you do good enough for me, there's a possibility I might make you a noble, since we are pretty tight. I'll consider it. I finally arrived here for the coronation. Love or hate the king? None can deny the feeling of importance shared between we who shall stand witness. The chapter begins today. So my absence doesn't look good, but I would like to offer support based on our previous relationship. The gathering is as grand as expected. Faces familiar and foreign mingle, and I hear greetings just warm enough to be polite. When a host speaks, the room quiets out of instinct. My friends, my vassals, my kin, your presence honors me more than any crown could. Until the ceremony begins. Eat, drink, speak freely, and I will see each of you will not forget who stood here with me today. A kind promise or a quiet warning, depending on how one chooses to hear. Now then, who else is here? 7 other detractors and 8 other supporters, including myself. And that damn Duke Orson, who has hots for me. Guests for the coronation of my acquaintance King Payan are important, all given minor robes. Thanks for the invitations and pledges of fealty or support. Soon it shall be my turn. Must I stand over the crowd? Must I use my brief audience to convince the king of my worthiness? Let me think. 1 second. This is for the king, not me. Remember that. You know what? I shall arrange attacks from the other guests. Maybe this is increase the non-disloyal vassals. Pay up. And the king will like me more than all the other options combined. King Fire takes a second to observe the crowd. Taking a bite of an apple, the voices of courtiers become constant as the chirping of birds. I had no doubt that Julian then still joined. Good queen, just a sign of thing. Maybe so bold to ask what your thoughts are on the celebration. You know that the king's rule will be one of love and justice. Here's a hunchback princess. They will call us fortunate to have been there because of my offer of support attempts. Magnificent increasingly, and his opinion towards me furthers. Our serene king has been left alone. My acquainted Count he observes, smiling serene. This is a chance for us supporters to show our loyalty. Go ahead, Alice. Cannot waste this opportunity. I think having a friendship is a good idea to have, better marriage acceptance between us. So I could just foster my relationship with the king. No need for an alliance, as we don't want to be entangled on too much foreign affairs, especially if it's affordable for us. So he accepts my petition. We're friends. Queen Alice, the king calls me for a big smile. Stands next to another guest. Count, I'm not queen. This is Count Theory. I believe you two would find much common ground. Ancient military campaigns, perhaps. I'm not into military stuff, so let me see. I'll just say he seems very polite. Just be nice. Meanwhile, armies on the way. Don't forget, there is an ongoing war. Enemy army sighted. Can we engage them? They say you might lose because you're crossing a river and you're defending a forest. Okay, actually go for weaker fortifications. Get some distance away from them. I finally managed to leave that, I guess, behind and enter in search of a Quemo. The altar god shines dimly, illuminated by a dozen candles. Fragrant sounds fills the cold walls. The mirror set off a stern look. To the left, the texture that once was Jesus was fading slowly. The smell almost imperceptible. I don't know, this is supposed to give France the benefit, not me. Tent vassal guest opinion. I think I'll just say I trust myself to Jesus because I'm prone to stress. I mean, not really prone to stress, unlike earlier. But I'll just say, God, do not forsake France. I've talked to countless mothers and midwives, taken their advice to heart. Yet, when my times I realized no amount of preparation could ever be enough. The pains were all consuming, and I feared for my life. But I made it through. Now I have a perfect little daughter. One day, child, you will carry on my legacy. What name would befit a queen? Think. Of course, Mary. Keep it simple. All preparations complete. The great ceremony now awaits Clermont's Les High Church. The cheers exaltation, the king's procession parts the ground, and my retinue falls in an honorary place. The peasants came forward a glimpse of the soon-to-be king. Atop their parents' shoulders, amid a multitude, Occitan children grin. Occitan children grin. Now we see the measure of this king. It's been a few weeks since I gave birth to my little Mary. I'm still bound to bed. As my days go by without much improvement, my joys consumed by terrible weariness. Should my strength be returning by now? Until the bishops, the French nobility, and the common people have all acted in their customary part. Pine is no true king. His rule cannot be just without their acceptance of it. First the priests, theirs is a call for the king to honor their holy rights and to defend the faithful. Pine sets, then the elders of Clermont set the king and all, as the masses outside exalts the royal name. As vassals step forth to supplicate themselves, most glow of hope, and truthfully swear on their loyalty and love. The ceremony continues on and on. Proof of their honor, Pine's virtue. Final ceremony draws near. But first, the anointing, the marker of the King France's mandate from God. Archbishop Godefredo himself bears the holy oil. The Archbishop, the shepherd of France, marks Pine with the sacred golden oil. On his hands, his head, his breast, his shoulders, the bends of his arms, blessing of prophets, priests, and monarchs. The king's skin shines with the very approval of God. That's all the priesthood accepts the king. Forth come the royal symbols. The glitter and the sword is girded to his hip. The scepter of sovereign authority is taken up his hand. His fingers wrap around the globus cruciger. To his body comes the armils and palette. The prayers rumble on. Graced by royal treasures, Pan kneels just this one final time. For the King of France, the king he's tried to truly become, he bows only to God. This is the second time this happened in his life. Keep that well in mind. The crown is placed atop his brow for the second time in his life. With the rights of the king's throne and complete, the royal consensus not to be probably stated. King Piate's wife, the hunchback Agatha, conducts the rituals with distinct bluntness. The daughter of the Gaillons. Agatha is frankly delivered words bears the marks of her noble French background. Before long, and with great ceremony, Agatha's crown is laid on her head for the first time, second time, I think. The Kingdom of France acclaims their queen again. Mind your fine husband well, Agatha. Enemy on the move. Pine stands by himself in front of the crown and all wages over. My rule be remembered by those who come after as the start of a golden age for France. For the disappointment, no oath he made. The formalities have ended with them. Stillness held the gathering in place. A few murmurs arise as the host stands again. This time to mark the end of the ceremony and the start of something more relaxed. The king raised his voice just enough to carry. My friends, the rites are complete. Let the tables be filled. Let the cups be raised. Let us all remember joy as well as duty. The words are well received, and with the passing moment, the royal gathering becomes more of a lively celebration. Finally, the ceremony is over with. I can all tell Duke with too much to drink, husband. Sister sorry us how sorry was. Civilized, now spattered stick vomit. Husband. Yeah, I don't know what I got to say. I don't think prestige matters, so I'll just say, what a show you put on. Make him like you more. The girls and my fellow guests bring a smile on my face as I turn to Ross is carousing, finds them falling over one another. The baldy jester knocks the torch loose and it careens into the drapery. Flames leap up the walls as they streak and scatter. I dive for cover, heart pounding as the all soon the walls should smoke and panic. Oh my goodness. How do I leave this place? Oh, he got wounded too. There's a craven. How to get out of there? I totally listened to Geralt, the steward of the just the Crusader reveals all manner of things, distracted trying to get one last drop from his cup. He is oblivious to how carefully I'm paying attention. Once he realizes, he starts looking up. I'm only rambling. It's not true, any of it. Whew. Interesting rambles indeed. Now let's tell you to get the count as he reveals all manner of things. Distracted trying to get one last drop from his cup. It's only rambling. Oh my goodness, how many sodomites do you have in your country? In your kingdom? What kind of ship are you operating? In the hush voice, my acquaintance, the Count, Tagus again, has revealed the secrets of burning in him. Oh, let me guess. You being a sodomite? I see a mysterious one thing always catches over. Knows what wickedness jumps the chiefs. It's not like his intimate relations with other men. Such a breach from its name. You might be for something. I could use someone like you. Come on in. Ambitious matchmaker you are. Hold on 1 second. 29 days. This is something I would have to note about. Because in that travel, once I leave this place, go visit a few places. Battle of Tours. Tours itself. Connacht Stones. And then these places. Yeah, you're setting yourself up to be in real peril. Especially that you are sickly. It's set. Outside the feast, I enjoy a breath of fresh air and a view of Columbus, log with the sound of lovers in a nearby shrub, and a local night vomiting dangerously near. Above it all, the sounds of the castle town celebration hangs there. An idea then strikes. King Power would no doubt appreciate the people singing in his name, and the castle town folk would deny a free drink. I would simply find a merchant willing to sell at this hour. Perhaps not. More for me. I'm not paying my money for that. Wrong text. It's meant for him. Reign of King Piety begins. He swore an oath to expand the realm. That's what that is. On my way. Meanwhile, war continues. Last pottery competition. As I pass through a village in the Bourbon region, I approach Valdwin, a village elder. He explains that the village is renowned for its type of pottery highly sought after as a luxury good throughout Europe. Holding competition to determine the best potter. The winners will be traded far and wide. While your discerning eye and refined taste would be invaluable for judging our competition. Would you do us the honor and select the winner? I'll be honored to judge the competition. Judging success. The choice well received, the village elder is grateful. Gain a bit of prestige. What, no siege weapons? 4 level 2s over here. This way. Let's go. It doesn't matter which way you go, you're going to take casualties. Move on. The Higgs in my 10 siege camps balls out for me. A jumble of grey, shapeless canvas, military industry, men, women, all covered by an incessant drone of flies. Flags float above the throne, very long-haired commanders sit at tables, trading gossip at tall tales, comforting comfort in private. Dirge of whispers drifted on the breeze. Barony of Ostana stands for me, a charred graveyard. It fills between the dead and dying lie in agony, with faces twisted in pain, bodies thrown about, limbs piled up in mounds. A man's brain and brown viscera lie sprawling in his crushed skull. Grieving widows wail and clutch each other. Unfortunately, we'll have to postpone this. I gained stress because I'm a Master Administrator. Battle of Tours. Gained 2 experiences, Marshal. Three strikes, you're out of here. I tire of these games. Leave me alone, all of you. Nobody attempt to seduce me the next 10 years. Only one man can have me. I think I know a cure. I hope. Actually, delay that because you want the illness of mine to go away. I hate to be traveling while ill, you know. 2 months. Ready to go. It's been snowy for days now. The road ahead appears to be completely passable. However, as I look ahead, I see a small group of people approaching us fast across the snowdrifts. Soon a man stands before me and speaks a wide grin. You seem to be in quite a predicament. Hope you're not. For a fair price, we'll help you to return your travels. We'll manage on our own. We're moving again. Karnak stones. We'll get some money out of Crusade, don't you worry. Saint Obed, Saint Michael. 100% war score. So does this mean you have first place in the war contribution? We get the lion's share of the wealth. A cluster of ramshackle shelters surrounded by tumbled walls and sagging ramparts. Flags float in stiff northwestern breeze. Coat of stock bright against the dune sky. Figures hunch over campfires, tossing on wood and brushy sheepskins clean. The barony of Elbingus stands before me. A slaughter pen that feels between a red and yellow sea of roaring flames rises high in the air. Windows are shuttered or smashed. Lofty doors wrapped on their rusty hinges, drawn off their hinges, and leathering in cobblestone and fragments. Grass, stones, and mortars shoot from the roofs and chimneys. Survivors huddle in the ruins, weeping for their dead. St. George is granted king, the already existing king of Lithuania, and the victory crusade for Lithuania, after defeating Gisgaila and his infidels on several occasions. Our warriors forced the enemies to admit their magnanimous defeat. With the occupied lands firmly under the leadership of a pious Catholic ruler, we can rest assured that the divine will of St. George has been acted. This is a glorious day for all the true followers of the cross. St. George is with us. So, 5,000, over 5,000 gold. Earning me 1,006 gold, 711 piety, 2,308 prestige. Hell to the yeah. One would think. We eat tonight. Every time I close my eyes, I see Dick's face. Sleep will not come. I cannot wait another moment. Cloaked in shadows, make my way to his castle. The side of his chin makes my heart stutter. So close yet so far. Wait, who's that? As I climb up the tower, a shady figure stops by his window and matches the shutters. This is not a good idea. I did not come here to wrestle a burglar. He escapes unharmed. Yet don't attempt to do that again. in until a couple of months' time, until you are ready. Okay? Meanwhile, the seas around here are thick with English traders going about their usual craft, carrying rare and exotic goods from one port to another. One such merchant ship holds an item within that immediately takes my interest. I'm going to lay my eyes upon a maritime trading handbook. Interesting. But I know I could never find anything like that back in England. It must simply be mine. And mine it shall be. You have the money. Choppy waters enough to make any experienced sailor seasick as we roll back and forth on the waves. The people on the ship are slowly moving to seek shelter. I noticed Marquisa looking out the railing before turning to make her way to the hull deck before anyone is in time. The ship hurls sideways and she falls into dark water. Oh, I'm craven, so I'll say it's too late. She's just some courtier. Yeah, we picked her up from earlier, but now we're leaving her to drown. White squall turned to port. Coxswain's horrifying does not suit the common weather. Our ears are filled with the increasing louder roar of the wind. And that's that heartbeat. The moist white mist that engulfs the whole ship, louder than the wind. The mainmast cracks and falls overboard. As sad as it came, the squall moves on. Our boat lazily rocks on a calm sea, tagging the torn sails and broken oars along. Fear not, we have more sails. Due to my entourage's maritime expertise, we were prepared for this. New rigging is swiftly erected on the stored sails of wooded beams. It's because of some people, including our, well, we're used to the sea. Maritime mercantilism is an English trait. As I stroll around the market of Southwark, a loud ruckus comes from a couple stalls on the way. There's a furious woman in animated weakness. Serene Dolce Corrado, we'll have your head for this, she yells at another merchant who looks possibly even angry. I'd love to see him try. The Solomon dismisses the merchant with a wave of his hand. Angrily turning her bodyguards. The merchant clearly intends to get one deal one way or another. Allied with Venice? That's far away. Seems the perfect time to make some coin. Took advantage of. I lost some money, but Greenland gave me some more money. Alright. And I just got better. It's been a long road back to health, but I find myself in a warm embrace once more. Excellent timing, as we should end that episode, ladies and gentlemen. And our daughter married to Normandy. Well, she's healthy. That's good. Maybe you were the one. And that twin, which I thought he was the one, but he died of an infected wound. Oh, this is another law I wish to pass. This is going to be the last act of the episode. Sycophant officers. The realm's bureaucracy is filled with flatterers and yes-men who secure the position through loyalty to the crown rather than merit. While this ensures unwavering support for the monarch's decision, it leads to incompetence and corruption within the government. That kind of sounds like the United States of America when you think about it, at least from the perspective from some people. But this is England, so we're doing it this way. Especially that it's under Alice's law. Yeah, it hurts all this, but it'll make the vassals respect me a lot more. So how do you feel now? We're getting there. And then in the next episode, a few more laws are to be passed. Security investments. We'll have subsidized defenses and later outpost network, because I'm craven. So that way, it'll reduce the army size of the levies, adding more to the garrison. But it makes travel speed increase and travel safer. The Gloryhounds won't like it. And I know those Gloryhounds. They'll never be pleased with me because of I am what I am. I gotta do something about that royal favor. Just let me have a look at it real quick. Nobles got it enough. I should give it to the knights. And then after that, give it to the peasants. And all this money that I have, where's it going to go? I'd like to invest in Bruges. Because for some reason there's been hardly any income. Ah, above the main limit. We'll have that sorted out because it's another thing for the next episode. More than 5 years of peace, so it's been restarted because you joined the Crusade. But it was a worth investment. Because I want to build buildings like this one. That'll make another area for me to travel through. And it'll make Bruges the honorary third capital of the realm. England's first, Rwanda's second, Bruges is third. Especially that Normandy had suffered development greatly. Middlesex, great development, well, it's going to get a boost soon. And the Dutch need to calm down. I know relations between us isn't great. Between us. So perhaps I'll promote your culture one day. Well, Normans are the majority, but you get the idea. Up this and we can upgrade the buildings more. We'll invest in Bruges soon. All that and more in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.